I'm going to record the rest of this episode later, but I just have to capture this moment for you guys. I just left lunch with a friend, and I'm buzzing. I feel so good. I feel so just fulfilled and connected and every good thing and capable and confident, and like, this is great. I feel amazing, and I want to expand on this more in our regular setting, which is me in my PJs with Meatball in my lap, but I just felt the need to capture this moment for context so you guys can hear it in real time. And now hopefully the sound will be better for the rest of the episode as I expand on it. That's all. All right, so for context, I recorded that intro on Tuesday. It is now Thursday. I've had 48 hours to process that lunch with my friend, and it is no less fulfilling, meaningful, wonderful than it was then. I still just feel so excited and giddy about everything that was. I really want to talk about authentic connection because that's something that I don't think there is enough of. I think it's a hard thing to come by. Maybe, is that a reach? Is that me trying to like shoehorn it into the premise of this podcast? I'm like, hard feelings. Well, it's hard to come by. Maybe this will fit. Anyway, I met this friend. This is a new friend. I first met this friend a year ago through a different friend. An author friend who had said, I want you to meet a couple author friends of mine. We can have like a cute little author dinner. I thought, I love this. So we all met up, and it was great, except for the fact that I was a fucking nervous wreck. I used to experience a ton of social anxiety. We'll talk about that in another episode. But I was nervous. I really wanted to impress these people. I cared about what they thought. I respected them. And I didn't think I was like my best. I didn't think I shined in that environment. I felt like I couldn't really form complete sentences. Do you ever have that happen where you're like at a social gathering and you're like, what is coming out of my mouth? But it's like currently coming out of your mouth and you can't stop it. And then it just kind of like the sentence stops and you're like, that wasn't an end, sweetheart. Like that was, you said nothing. That's what kept happening. Oh God, I'm just like flashing back. It was horrifying. I don't even really like what I wore. Not that matters, but it actually does. It matters to me. I don't know. I like to feel comfortable in what I'm wearing. I like to feel confident in what I'm wearing. I felt kind of like a cartoon character. I don't know what was going on. A couple of mistakes were made. But anyway, I met this friend. First thing he said to me was, this is like right after my book came out. He had just read it. And he's like, oh my God, everybody's talking about all the traumatic things that have happened in your life, but nobody's talking about the most traumatic. And I'm like, what? And he goes, the fact that you lived above the Glendale Galleria. Anybody from the LA area knows this reference. If you don't, I lived in Glendale. There's this mall called the Glendale Galleria. Next to that mall is this place called Americana, and it's the outdoor shopping mall. And it's very like utopian Disney, but kind of feeling with high-end shopping, like a Louis Vuitton. There's like an Aritzia, there's a Nordstrom, that kind of thing. And then there's also a trolley and Frank Sinatra blaring from the speakers, like the same 10 Frank Sinatra songs on rotation. That's where I lived. So, I'd wake up every morning to Fly Me to the Moon, like blasting from the speakers. It felt odd, to say the least. I lived there for a fucking long time, way too long, several years. Anyway, it was a great joke. Like instantly I liked him a lot. And that was the one time that I met this friend. And I'd actually told several people since then, for whatever reason, people are like, oh, I don't know, who's the funniest person you've met? I don't know why it sounds like a magazine quiz. Like I'm making people sound like a magazine quiz, but that just has, for some reason, come up several times. People asking, who's the funniest person you've met? And I've said this person every time I've been asked since then. I've said I've met him once, but he just made me laugh so hard. The entire night I was like almost spitting out my food. It was so funny. So recently he commented on an Instagram photo of mine, and I thought, oh my God, this is my in. I DM'd him, asked if we wanted to get lunch. He said, yeah. And I was so excited. You guys, I didn't feel any dread. I don't know if you feel this way, but half the time if I'm supposed to see somebody, I just feel this pit of dread, like, God, help me. And I'm like praying they're going to cancel. I'm just like, please, for the love of God, can you cancel so I can stay home and play Pikmin 3 bingo battle? Please. And then they don't, and then it's like, it's awful. Or, sometimes I'll cancel. I'm always looking for an excuse to get out of seeing people socially. Not this friend. I was so excited. I'm sitting up right now because like the excitement is in my, it just ran through my body. So I felt excited to see him. I saw him and it was just instant chemistry. I mean, we were there, we were at the restaurant, like we closed the restaurant. It's like one of those places that's open for lunch and dinner. We closed it down for lunch. They like had to kick us out. They go, we're closing in 10 minutes. We're like, okay, got it. Also, just to be very clear, this is not romantic love that I'm talking about. I feel like up to this point, it's maybe sounded like, okay, Jennette, you're falling in love. That's not it. I am in a relationship, and also he's in a relationship, and also he is a gay man. And I'm only saying this just because I want to be very clear that what I'm talking about is truly pure and simple, authentic connection without any other elements involved. I was kind of thinking like, what's a good way of summarizing what's at the root for me of authentic connection? And I came up with this that I still resonate with and I kind of like, which is, I felt myself wanting to impress him. And he's someone where doing that means being myself. It just makes me so happy. The idea that like the best way that I'm going to impress this person is by being myself. To me, I feel like that's such a way of knowing when you're authentically connecting with somebody. I'm not thinking, I want to impress this person and here's how I can do that by talking about this or by overlapping with them in this area. Or, there's nothing contrived. There's nothing calculated about it. There's no trying about it. This was just eye-opening for me. I just left thinking like, oh my God, a friend can be this. Like he's somebody who worked on himself so much and continues to work on himself so much. He's an ever-evolving, growing person. He's smart and thoughtful, and just these kinds of qualities where I guess I'm just so used to, because of my history and my past, I'm so used to like emotionally stunted kind of like people saying stock things all the time, interchangeable phrases. And that's not true in certain, like I have certain relationships in my life where that's not the case. My relationship with my significant other being one of them. God, I should hope so. But, I wish I had my people, is kind of this feeling that I had throughout my 20s, as many of my friendships from my teens were kind of falling away by that point. And I had this longing for some kind of like, who am I going to connect with now? Now that I know who I am, who am I going to connect with? Oh, that's what it is. It's like I started to figure out who I was as a person, and that meant I knew what wasn't fitting, but I didn't have any kind of signposts. I didn't have any reference point for what was going to fit. I didn't know how to find it. I wanted meaningful friendships. And I honestly think I just kind of lost hope or interest. Maybe I just felt like, oh, maybe that's just not a thing you have in your late 20s. Maybe it's just work and you do the thing. That's all that it needs to be. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this 3-hour conversation. I'm so grateful for, whatever our friendship becomes. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because I think I'm learning how much, my body kind of knows. My body knew when I was meeting up with somebody and I would feel dread. And I was like, it's not really somebody that I kind of want to see, maybe. Or if I'm feeling a lot of anxiety around the person. I saw this quote. So it said, your nervous system will naturally feel calm around people with pure intentions and authentic energy. Trust it. I saw that night after I saw this friend. And it just resonates with me so much. I'm going to say it one more time. Your nervous system will naturally feel calm around people with pure intentions and authentic energy. Trust it. Well, that explains the first 25 years of my life. My nervous system didn't feel calm one goddamn time. Okay. Truly, I don't know. It's just like realizing that my nervous system has those answers. My body has those answers. The fact that I felt so excited to see this person and so good around him and so just beaming when I left. I took a couple laps around the block actually after I recorded that little intro for you guys, and I just listened to some music and I just relished in that feeling of, God, this is authentic connection. And it can be lonely sometimes when you're doing a lot of work on yourself and you're trying to heal and you're trying to grow as a person. And maybe that's just not the case for a lot of people in your life. And maybe they want to stay where they are because it's comfortable or because they like it or because they don't know any better or who knows their reasons. But I had so much of that in my life. So, I think it's a thing that you don't really think about is how lonely it can be when you're trying to improve yourself and grow as a person. It can be really isolating, trying to put away any friendship that's harmful or your boundaries aren't respected or that might be damaging or that might be not even deeply damaging, just might not fit anymore. You become more authentic, you become more in touch with yourself, and you realize all the things that aren't authentic anymore. And to now be at this place where I go, God, I'm feeling the benefits of being my authentic self. And I'd felt those benefits in my career. I was seeing those benefits. I've been seeing those benefits firsthand for a while now, but I wasn't feeling it in my friendships. And so feeling it now is just the most inspiring, lovely, connected experience. Oh my God. It's like, it's the first time, it's been 2 days and I'm like, oh my God, when can I text him to hang out again? This was so fun. Maybe we could do a double date, like that kind of thing. I haven't had that in so long. Usually I see somebody and you know how after you hang out, you're supposed to like, oh yeah, we should do this again. Like that's the socially, the etiquette thing to do. The person will say the thing and I'll be thinking like, we just did this. I thought we just got this over with. What are we talking about? Let's do this again. I've been dreading this for 4 fucking months. I'm not social. You know what? I don't even think that's true. I just think I didn't know the right fucking people. Oof. Okay. Anyway, that's all. I'm feeling good. Thanks for listening. Love you guys and bye. There's more Hard Feelings with Lemonada Premium. Subscribers get exclusive access to bonus content, and you can subscribe now in Apple Podcasts. I'm Jennette McCurdy, the creator, executive producer, and host of Hard Feelings. It's produced by Lemonada Media in coordination with Happy Rage Productions. Our production team is Keegan Zema, Aria Bracci, and Brian Castillo. Music is by Hannes Brown. Steve Nelson is Lemonada's Vice President of Weekly Content. Rachel Neal is Lemonada's Senior Director of New Content. Executive producers are Stephanie Whittles-Wax, Jessica Cordova-Kramer, and me. Listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership.